Hey, BassGeek here, and man, have I picked up a bunch of baits for next year that I got from the tackle warehouse. Black Friday, Christmas, all the sales toward the end of the year. Let me show you some things I picked up that I know you're going to be super interested in for 2025. Now, geeks, I'm not going to lie, I picked up a ton of stuff, and there's a ton of reasons why I picked this stuff up. And it's going to go from winter to fall, and everything in between. It is a lot of stuff, and a lot of stuff you might have not seen me talk about on this channel. Some stuff that you have seen me talk about on this channel. And I'll let you know a little bit of when I'm going to use them, why I wanted them, and how I'm going to use them as we go. I don't like to just do unboxings and say, hey, look at my purdies. I like to do unboxings and tell you why I bought what I did. Now, geeks, whether you like it or not, I do like to throw the Demiki rig. I do use forward-facing sonar, but I also use it for a lot of other different things. I'm going to share with you a little something that I've been playing with, and I know there's some guys that have been playing with and some of the pros that have been playing with this and not really sharing it with you. I've loaded up on some different heads to try different sizes, different things. First off, I'm going to show you what I got, which are just kind of the standard heads. So the bass this time of year in the winter get extremely deep where I'm at. They can be down to 85 feet deep. So one of the things that I like is from Queen's Tackle. And I got their bigger sizes in their LS tungsten head. And the reason why I got them is because, as far as I know, and if you geeks know, tell me if there's anybody else that makes the bigger tungsten, 1 ounce, 3/4 ounce. I would love to find somebody that's making like a 1 1/4, 1 1/2 ounce head. I know they're going to be huge, but this is the 1 ounce head in the LS tungsten jigs. Like I said, this is for the extremely deep ones. They make a 3/4. I had plenty of those. I thought I'd ordered some, but I remember now I had plenty of those. This is the 5/8. Next up, there's a lot of real finesse baits out there. I've been looking for a smaller hook, like a 1/0 hook in the heavier sizes. So I found these from Kitech. And these are the tungsten super round ball head jigs. I know X-Zone makes some really good finesse baits, some hot shot minnows. I know Great Lakes makes some really small ones, but nobody seems to make any heads with a 1/0 hook that's got like a 1/2 ounce or 3/8. That'd be real good for me in the winter, by the way, guys, if you want to help a brother out. But Kitech at least makes a 1/4 ounce with a 1/0. And again, if any of you geeks know of a smaller bait, especially tungsten, with like a 1/0 in it that'll fit the bait good, leave that in the comments down below. But this is a 1/4 ounce from Kitech. Next up, I love to throw a shaky head. It's probably been one of my go-to setups since I ever heard about it, which has probably been 100,000 years ago during the dinosaurs. One of my favorites to use is the Ultra head from Owner. One of my favorite sizes is a 1/8. The good thing about that is you can really throw that right now, anytime, anywhere. Probably my two go-tos from the winter through the summer is the 1/8 and the 1/4, but I was really out of 1/8. Now I decided to try these. I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, Meshu Fishing. And so these have got some of the little hook keeper swings. So I want to see if that maybe helps with hook up a little bit. And these are the football size. These are also in 1/8 ounce. Now listen, geeks, we do have links in the description for all these products. So and trust me, I am not sponsored by these companies. I just spend a lot of money. So, the wife don't know yet, she's gonna beat me. So if you want to help me out some and you're going to buy from Tackle Warehouse anyway, make sure you check this out. Now we're going to start putting a QR code up so that you can click on that, or you can take a screenshot of it. Once it goes to your photos, you can go in and click on that and it'll take you straight there. Or you can save that link in your phone or in your computer. And that way, anytime you go, it'll help us out. Doesn't cost you a dime. Does not cost you a dime. I just appreciate you helping us out that way. Next up, I wanted to get some stupid tube rigs, basically some weedless tube rigs. That's something I really want to use I wanted to use it a little bit as we were getting into the fall. I really want to use it right now on this lake because the bass on this lake, once that water temp hits about 63 to 58 or 58 to 63 in the fall, they all go to the bottom. Even though there's a ton of shad in here, it's just like they stop chasing. They go straight to the bottom, and that's where they stay for the rest of the winter. So I think a tube, and especially a weedless tube, is a really great way to catch some of these bass. This is the Stupid Tube Secret Lures is who it's by, and I picked up a 1/4 and an 1/8. So we're gonna throw a little tube around a little bit this year. Next, this is kind of an experiment, and this is what I was telling you geeks earlier. This is something that not a lot of people are talking about right now because it's an incredible way. You see a lot of them talk about using, glide baits, big swim baits, that sort of stuff, over top brush piles and standing timber. But something that we discovered last year or late this fall is a weedless head minnow. Now, there's no ball head jigs out there that I can find, especially tungsten wise, that are weedless. So you either have to fish that bait right over top. You can't really get down into it a little bit, and you get hung a lot even if you're just ticking it sometimes. So what I started throwing were the Ned Rig EWG hooks, and they work the same exact way as a weedless jig head because they are. So I was able to really get down, and we caught a few bass doing that this year, but I really didn't have a lot of them. The ones I had, I'd actually run out of. So what I wanted to do is try out a few different brands. The tungsten ones I found on Tackle Warehouse, this is from Arsenal, and this is the Deadly Nedley. Well, like I said, you can put these and they work just fine on a minnow bait coming through structure. I picked up one size and it's a 1/8, but they have 2 different size hooks in them. I think this is as heavy as they have listed. So again, this is Arsenal, and this is the Deadly Nedley, and this is a tungsten bait, which I really do like for what I'm about to do. And it's got a 3/0 and a 2/0 hook in them. What I find really funny right now, I don't know if you geeks can see this, but it's like, what, 4 o'clock right now?
3:13.
3:13. And for whatever reason, it has just got incredibly foggy out here on the lake. So pretty interesting little happening out here as we shoot for this. So we hope you can still see us, as it may get worse. But anyway, all that being said, I also picked up, now these aren't tungsten, but I want to try some of them out. These are, because they're a little heavier, it's a 1/4 ounce and another 1/8 ounce. These are from Lifted Jigs, and these are the Ned EWG in 1/8. And this one is in 1/4. So I picked up another, and guys, I'm just experimenting. Sometimes I'll pick up things like this just to experiment. And so I picked up these. These are 1/4 ounce. They're black, they're 3/0, but these are some, if I can get it shook down where you can actually see it. These are some pretty big 3/0 hooks. So we should be able to use them in some 4, maybe even 5-inch baits. These are from Flatlands Custom Tackle. These are the weedless Neds. I got them in a 3/0 1/4, and this one is a 1/8 in a 3/0. Now, I went ahead and picked these up also because, again, I do want to be able to throw some bigger, like some 5-inch, leave it to big bite baits, looking for that big bite, to have a big hook in them. I don't know what size this is. It doesn't say. But this is a good looking big hook. I'm going to say that's a 4/0, but this is the big bite baits. They call it the shorty head in a 1/4 ounce. And of course, got it in a good green pumpkin too. This is the 1/8 ounce. So something else I picked up, and we're going to do a video on this. I don't think I've ever talked about this. This is another bait that works extremely well. And extremely well when the bass are deep. You can vertical fish it, and they are inside balls of shad. And of course, they make them in different sizes, but these are maybe a best kept secret. Again, I'll show you how we fish them. We're going to do a how-to on these, but these are by Rapala. There's a couple other companies out there that make them. They used to make a couple other, a flat wrap and all that stuff, but these are called the jigging wraps, and these are all in 1 ounce, so 1 1/8 ounce sizes. What's great about these baits is when you jig them up, they've got these 2 little wings and they'll dart, so they move. They're not just a straight vertical. They look like they're chasing, and when they come down, they'll just kind of spin around. This color is shad. This is purple essence. This is pearl white. So next up is something that I want to experiment with, something that you've seen me do a video on, and I'll leave a link to that. If you haven't seen it, you really need to see it. It is the Seek 85 from Duo Realis. You really need to see that video. That bait is a hard bait. It's I call it a twitch bait, but it has a very unique action to it. It, along with the finisher, fall into this, what I call the twitch bait, lipless twitch bait category. Now the first one I'm going to show you, it actually does have a lip on it, but it is heavy. It sinks very quickly. It's one that I wanted to try out, and it's called the Flat Minnow, and this is by Yoziri. I got the same colors in it. It's heavy minnow. This is a 1/2 ounce size. And you'll notice a lot of these, they're saltwater lures that have started to come in, especially with the advent of forward-facing sonar, to the freshwater side of things. And this is Ghost Smelt. I always try to pick up a couple of them because I'm guaranteed to lose at least one. Another bait along that lines, this is not, or does not have a lip, so it's 100% not a jerk bait. This is the saltwater series. This is from Lucky Craft. It's made in Japan. So this is a sinking. This is in pearl white, and this is called the Wonder. They do sink. This is a 3/4 ounce. This is the color I think is going to work incredibly well here. This is Ghost Minnow. And I don't personally like them on my pizza, but anchovy. And a big shout out to my buddy Jack Dice. Now, he does, I believe it's Obsessed Fishing YouTube channel. He's more active on Instagram now. You guys make sure you go check him out. I think he's still fishing the opens. Good guy. Done a YouTube channel for a long time. He's up, I believe, around the Smith Mountain Lake. I don't know if he's moved off because he's all graduated and grown up now, but good dude. Love him to death. And I seen him fishing these, so I had to go pick some up. These are the Bill Lewis depth strikes. So again, that same sort of, lipless twitch baits that just get the bass going. I picked them up in 3 different sizes. This is the 3" and 3/8 ounce. This is the 1/2 ounce. And this is a 3.75, so they go up in size, length as you go. So the smaller one is a 3", then it goes to a 3.25, and then the 5/8 is a 3.75. This is Numb Shad, probably one of my favorite colors. This is Cajun Pearl. Last but not least, Aurora Borealis. All right, geeks, so I did pick me up a reel. This is the Lose. This is the new redesigned LFS. And, I'm a big fan of the LFS. It's a $100 reel. I think it's an incredible deal. I've had a ton of them. So I'm really wondering if they've, just to put it bluntly, this up. So they've redesigned it. They've changed a lot of things on it. So I'm really interested in seeing how this reel is going to hold up, because the other ones to me were just workhorses. They were extremely well designed. I don't know that this still has an aluminum frame by the looks of it. We'll see, I guess. So we'll see how it works out. Like I said, I really hope they didn't screw this up. I thought it was an incredible reel. Speed spool, whatever they're calling it now. It's a good looking reel, but we shall see. Now, I also picked up some lead wire that I'm going to use on some of my glide baits, some of my big hard swim baits. Picked that up. This is Harleen or Hairline. It's got a hair on it, so I'm gonna say Hairline lead wire. It's 0.035. I wish I'd have picked up maybe a couple of spools of it, but you wrap this around the hook shank, allows them to get a little bit deeper, especially here where I live. Getting them a little bit deeper is very important. So I picked up some square bills. Now I don't use square bills a whole lot, but there are times of the year, especially in the spring, when they shine where I am. And the ATV, the 1.5, and I love the 2.5. I've got a few of them. I need to pick up a few more. Are incredible. These again are Bill Lewis. Shout out to my guy Jack. And these are the 1.5. This is one of my favorite colors in any crankbait. Tennessee shad. Gotta have this color if you're fishing the clear water I fish. This is Ghost Minnow. Next up, and another good one, green gizzard shad. This is a red glitter crawl. You gotta have a red crawl for the spring. This, you see me catch one and give one of these away in the 2.5. This color is bluegill. And you always gotta have a sneaky shad. Good color right here around smallmouth and spotted bass, purple nurple. Last but not least, oyster. I also needed to pick up some deep divers, but I wanted to pick up some deep divers that are good in the wintertime. And let me tell you, these 16 to 20 feet divers, and if you throw them on 8-pound test, I know a lot of people are gonna think I'm crazy, but it works. You're not grinding them real fast, it's wintertime. But these Spro Little John DD70s can be killer. This is clear chartreuse. This, one of my favorites, spooky shad. This is cellmate. This is homemade shad, and this is spooky nasty. I didn't have any of these to flip with, so I picked up a couple to see if I liked them. I've used the full-size D-bombs before, big fan of them, but I've never used the baby D-bomb. So I want to pick up some baby D-bombs. This is green pumpkin, and of course, one of my favorite colors, watermelon red. Now, I know a lot of you geeks are going to think I'm crazy, but I have never tried a Berkeley flatworm maxi. I know they're the greatest thing since sliced bread up north, but I've just not ever picked any up, not ever really tried any. Or down here, this is green pumpkin. This is gobiashi. This is black shiner. Now I was running low on my favorite soft jerk bait, and this thing is great from spring all the way through until it starts getting cold. Late fall. This is my favorite color for the clear water fisheries that I fish. This is the Strike King caffeine shad, and this is Ghost, and this is my favorite size. They make it in a 4 and a 5. This is the 4-inch. As you can see, I picked up several bags of these. Next up, since this little thing has done such good work for me this year, this is the Strike King Baby Z2. This is one of my favorite colors right here, and just, you know, real close color to the Ghost Shad. This is the Gray Glimmer Pearl. I picked up a few other colors just to try them out because I was so impressed with them. This is the Deal. This is always a good color for those smallmouth on South Holston. This is the Juice. Next up, you have got the Arkansas Shiner. Something that's extremely hard to get your hands on right now, the Debs Sakamata Shad. These are the 4-inch. The 3-inch are in any good colors are almost impossible. These are a couple of good colors here. I don't know what they are because they're wrote in Japanese. So here they are. Now what you can get your hands on is the Zoom winged fluke. Are they as good as the Sakamata shad? Probably not, but I've caught a lot of fish on them this year. Picked me up a couple of colors for the clear water that I fish, and they also do come in a 5-inch, which I did not have yet. This is the Tennessee shad in the 5-inch. One of my favorite colors here, this is the 5-inch Ghost shad. This is 5-inch Gizzard shad. Now these are the 4-inch. I just got them in a couple of colors. This is the Tennessee shad. And of course the 4-inch in Ghost shad. Also from Zoom, this is called the Shimmer shad. Now I've had a couple of people tell me how good these are. The tails are incredibly soft, but what I also like about them is they can be used as trailers for a lot of different things like chatterbaits, you know, spinner baits and so on, but not how I plan on using them. This is ghost shad. This is albino. We're gonna try these on some jig head minnows. Last but not least, one of the baits that I'm really enjoying this year, I'd like to get some of the smaller ones, but they're also hard to come by. This is the Jackal drift fly. This is the mellow. I like the colors of the mellow. They're not quite as vibrant as the other. This is the 5.2. It's a little bit bigger, so I'm actually excited to throw this even during the winter time. This is the sweet Wagasaki. This is prism shad. This is stealth neon shad. So like I was saying, geeks, make sure you go bookmark that link to Tackle Warehouse down in the description. It really does help us out. And when you decide to go to Tackle Warehouse, pick something up, just click on your bookmarks. And like I said, it doesn't cost you a dime, but it really helps us out tremendously. Otherwise, like we talked about earlier, we were talking about how to fish that Duo Realistique and those sort of lipless twitch baits. Make sure you go check out this video right here, because you can see how to use that Duo Realistique. That thing is amazing underwater. Otherwise, questions, comments in the comment section below. Like it if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. Make sure you ring that bell, geeks. We appreciate you so much. 100% Watch Squad. You geeks rock.